From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, April the 3rd, 2018. Well, just hours after announcing a landmark agreement with the United Nations Refugee Agency to keep a portion of African migrants and asylum seekers in Israel while resettling others in Western countries, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu changed his mind. Netanyahu said that after meeting with Israel's Interior Minister Aryeh Deri, as well as with professionals and representatives of residents of southern Tel Aviv, where the majority of the migrants and asylum seekers live, he said, "I listened attentively to criticism of the agreement. As a result, and after evaluating a new balance of advantages and disadvantages, I decided to cancel the agreement." Israeli media reports that Netanyahu had come under fire after first announcing the agreement, with critics like Education Minister Naftali Bennett saying that the deal would turn Israel into a paradise for infiltrators. The UN Refugee Agency, meanwhile, said it was disappointed by the Prime Minister's about-face, saying UNHCR continues to believe that a win-win agreement that would both benefit Israel and people needing asylum is in everyone's best interest. And it said, "We encourage the government of Israel to consider the matter further." And having praised Netanyahu's deal yesterday, President of the Union for Reform Judaism, Rabbi Rick Jacobs, called the Prime Minister's change of heart a moral mistake, likening Netanyahu's backpedaling to his freeze of the Kotel agreement last year. Jacobs wrote on social media, "Israel and her friends must push for the Prime Minister to reinstitute the UN compromise." The IDF is looking into an incident that took place this morning in the West Bank. An Arab-Israeli man identified as 28-year-old Iyad Zabaria crashed a stolen vehicle into a barrier surrounding a bus stop near the Jewish settlement of Ariel and was then shot by Israeli troops. The IDF said Zabaria was being pursued by law enforcement when he crashed head-on into the bus stop, got out of the car, and started to flee. Israeli soldiers, believing this was a car-ramming attack, shot Zabaria, critically wounding him. He was given medical treatment at the scene but died of his injuries shortly after. The U.S. Supreme Court yesterday rejected an appeal in the case known as Sakalau versus Palestine Liberation Organization. If you recall, a lawsuit was filed by American victims of deadly terrorist attacks that took place in Israel between 2002 and 2004 against the PLO. And in 2015, those plaintiffs were awarded $656 million by a federal jury. However, an appellate court overturned that verdict a year later, claiming that the Palestinian entities did not have enough of a connection to the U.S. to let them be sued under a federal anti-terrorism law, saying the attacks were not aimed at Americans. The plaintiffs then appealed, and yesterday that appeal was shot down. The Trump administration also stood with the appellate court ruling that threw out the multi-million-dollar verdict, saying it did not warrant Supreme Court review. The King of Saudi Arabia reaffirmed his support for the Palestinians after his son yesterday expressed support for Israel. According to the official Saudi press agency, King Salman spoke over the phone with U.S. President Donald Trump and, quote, reaffirmed the kingdom's steadfast position toward the Palestinian issue and the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people to an independent state with Jerusalem as its capital. Yesterday, in a rare occurrence, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman recognized Israel's right to exist and spoke of cooperation with Israel, telling The Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg, "I believe that each people anywhere has a right to live in their peaceful nation. I believe the Palestinians and the Israelis have the right to have their own land." An Israeli organization is being recognized and honored by the United Nations Population Fund. The 2018 Population Award will be given to the Save a Child's Heart, or SAC organization, at the Wolfson Medical Center in Hulon. SAC has saved the lives of more than 4,500 children with congenital heart defects from around the world, and the operations are performed free of charge. Their goal, according to the SAC website, is to improve the health and welfare of all children, regardless of the child's nationality, religion, color, gender, or financial situation. Well, Israeli gymnast Linoy Ashram won gold at the Rhythmic Gymnastics World Cup, which wrapped up in Sofia, Bulgaria this weekend. The 18-year-old from Rishon LeZion made history last year as the first Israeli rhythmic gymnast to win an individual all-around medal, bronze, at the 2017 World Championships. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, April the 3rd at 7 o'clock, Dr. Ruth Westheimer, Professor Adina Grossman of Cooper Union, and author Robert Beachy review the German-Jewish contribution to understanding human sexuality from the Center for Jewish History in New York. At 8 o'clock, former chair of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Robert Sugarman, talks about the factors that make the two-state solution less likely. That's from Limud, New York, 2018, in Princeton, New Jersey. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Professor of Law at Northwestern, Eugene Kontorovich, on the Chaim. At 10, author Yossi Klein Halevi leads a discussion on Jewish settlements from the Shalom Hartman Institute in Jerusalem. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's the debate program, Frenemies. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, April the 3rd, 2018. I'm Teisha Bader.